All right, you magnificent bastards. Let's cut the crap and dive headfirst into this dumpster fire that is Yahoo News.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, the website your grandpa probably still uses to check his stocks and get his daily dose of bullshit.
Probably right.
We've got a stack of articles and research here, and turns out this old dog has been through some shit.
Oh, yeah.
So buckle up, grab a beer, let's get this deep dive rolling.
I'm ready when you are a sicko. Yahoo News is a fascinating case study, to say the least. It's been around since the dawn of the internet, for God's sakes. We're talking August 1996, back when most people thought the internet was just a fad.
August 96. Fuck, I was probably still trying to figure out how to download porn without my mom catching me. So Yahoo News was like, what, the OG news website?
Pretty much. Back then, it was a simple aggregator. Yeah. Imagine a digital newspaper stand. But instead of print, it was pulling in articles from the big names, like AP, Reuters, even Fox News. It was revolutionary at the time because it gave people access to news from multiple sources all in one place.
Okay, so they were like the pioneers of online news. But here's what I don't get. If they were so damn big back then, how come they're basically the internet equivalent of a retirement home now?
Well, hold your horses. Cowboy Yahoo News had its heyday. Around 2011, they decided they wanted to be more than just an aggregator. They wanted to compete with the big boys, like CNN and the New York Times. So they started hiring real journalists, heavy hitters like Walter Shapiro and Virginia Heffernan.
Seriously.
They even had a correspondent in the White House press corps.
Wait, seriously. Yahoo News had a goddamn White House correspondent.
I thought the spots were reserved for, like, actual news organizations, not some washed-up internet relic.
You might be surprised to learn that they were ranked as one of the top global news sites by Alexa Internet during that period.
Right.
They were pulling in a massive audience and making serious waves in the media landscape. All right, I'll admit, I underestimated the old bastards. They actually tried to be legit.
Yeah.
But something must have gone wrong, right? Because let's be real. Nobody's bragging about getting their news from Yahoo these days.
True, things didn't exactly go according to plan. Despite their efforts, they couldn't quite shake their reputation as a second-tier news source.
So what happened? Did they just give up and accept their fate as the internet's grandpa?
Not quite. They had another trick up their sleeve. In 2013, they pulled off a major PR stunt and hired Katie Couric.
Katie fucking Couric. The perky morning show queen. What the hell were they thinking?
They were desperate to attract a wider audience and gain some credibility. They figured if they could snag someone as high profile as Couric, maybe people would start taking them seriously.
Okay, I get the logic. But did it actually work? Did she magically transform Yahoo News into the next CNN?
Well, it was a valiant effort, but it didn't quite pan out that way. She became their global anchor, but she only lasted a few years before jumping ship in 2017.
Yeah, and so even Katie Couric couldn't save them. So what happened next? Did they just throw in the towel and fade into obscurity?
Not exactly. In 2021, Verizon, who owned Yahoo at the time, decided to offload it to Apollo Global Management for a cool $5 billion.
$5 billion? For Yahoo? Are you shitting me? They must have some dirt on those Apollo guys or something.
$5 billion might seem like a lot for a company that's seen better days. But it shows that Yahoo News still had some value. Even if it wasn't the powerhouse it once was, they still had a massive user base and a recognizable brand, even if their reputation was a bit tarnished.
Okay, so they weren't completely dead in the water, but what the hell were they going to do with all that money? Did they hire another washed-up celebrity?
Not this time. They decided to go a different route. Artificial intelligence?
AI. Like those robots that are supposed to take over the world.
Hold on, let's not get ahead of ourselves. In 2022, they bought a startup called The Factual, which uses AI to rate the credibility of news articles. It was a bold move, signaling that they were taking the fight against misinformation seriously.
AI fact-checkers, that's some next-level shit. So they're basically using robots to call out bullshit.
It's not quite robots writing the articles, but you get the idea. The Factual uses algorithms to analyze news sources and flag potential bias, factual errors, and other red flags.
All right. I'm kind of digging this AI angle. So they're trying to be the good guys in the fight against fake news. But wait, there's more, right? Hello. You mentioned something about another AI acquisition.
You're right. Just this year, they bought a defunct AI-powered news app called Artifact. They're integrating that technology into a new souped-up version of Yahoo News. Artifact used AI to personalize news feeds for each user. So it seems like they're going all in on that whole personalization thing.
Personalized news feeds. So they're basically trying to create an echo chamber for everyone.
It's not that simple. The idea is to filter out the noise and give people the news they're most interested in, Of course, there are ethical concerns about algorithms deciding what we see and don't see.
Yeah, that whole filter bubble thing is a bit creepy. But hey, if it means I don't have to wade through a bunch of bullshit to find the news I actually care about, I'm all for it.
There are definitely pros and cons to this approach. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. But let's not forget about the other side of Yahoo News, the celebrity, gossip, and entertainment news. Remember Yahoo Celebrity?
Oh yeah, the guilty pleasure section. Gotta keep up with the Kardashians, right?
Exactly. It launched back in 2007, originally called They even partnered with CBS for a while and rebranded the Insider to Insider.
Talk about a branding roller coaster. They've been through some shit, haven't they?
They have. From being the pioneers of online news to struggling to stay relevant, they've seen it all. And through it all, they've never been afraid to experiment and try new things. Whether that's hiring Katie Couric or embracing AI, they're always looking for ways to reinvent themselves.
All right, so we've covered the early days, the Katie Couric fiasco, the AI gamble, and the celebrity gossip. But this is just the tip of the iceberg, right? We've got a whole stack of articles here, and we're just getting started.
You're right. There's a lot more to unpack here, including how they've covered major news events, the challenges they've faced over the years, and where the hell they're going from here.
All right, let's crack open another beer and get back to it.
Remember when we talked about Yahoo News having that White House correspondent back in the day? That was during the Obama years. They had a front row seat to some major political shit going down.
Obama, so they were rubbing elbows with politicians and all those other asshats. Did they manage to break any big stories?
Yeah.
Scoop, CNN, and those other clowns?
Well, they covered all the major events, from the Affordable Care Act to that whole Osama bin Laden raid. They were right there in the thick of it.
Healthcare and terrorism. The bread and butter of the news cycle, am I right? But did they have a particular angle? Were they pushing some kind of agenda, or were they just trying to report the facts?
Their coverage actually caused a bit of a stir. Some people accused them of being too cozy with the Obama administration, while others claimed they had a conservative bias. It's funny how people always see what they want to see.
Yeah, the whole fake news bullshit has been around longer than people think. So Yahoo News was basically caught in the crossfire. Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Pretty much. It's a tough spot to be in. It's almost impossible to be completely neutral when it comes to news, you know? Everyone has their own biases, even if they try to hide them.
True. So what else did Yahoo News get mixed up in? Did they cover any other major shitstorms?
Oh, absolutely. They were all over the 2016 election, that whole shit show with Trump and Hillary. Remember that?
How could I forget? It was like watching a train wreck in slow motion.
Uh-huh.
The whole world was glued to their screens, waiting to see who would fuck up the country next.
They covered everything.
Yeah.
The primaries, the debates, those insane rallies. They even had a dedicated section called the 2016 Election Guide, trying to make sense of all the chaos.
A dedicated section, huh? Sounded like they were taking it seriously.
Yeah.
Did they predict Trump would win? Or were they just as blindsided as everyone else?
Like most media outlets, they didn't see Trump's victory coming. But their coverage did highlight some of the key issues and trends that led to his election, even if they didn't fully grasp the significance at the time.
So even if they didn't call it right, they still provided some valuable insights into that whole clusterfuck.
What about after the election? Did they continue to cover the Trump train wreck?
Oh, yeah, they followed the whole goddamn thing.
Yeah.
The Russia investigation, the impeachment hearings, the Twitter meltdowns. They were there for all of it.
Damn, they really saw it all, didn't they? From the rise of Obama to the Trump shit show. They must have aged a few years covering all that crap.
They did. And through it all, they faced some serious challenges. The media landscape was changing rapidly with the rise of social media and the decline of traditional news outlets. They were constantly under pressure to be first, fastest, and most accurate, all while trying to stay afloat in a shrinking market.
It's a tough business. No doubt about it. But hold on, we haven't talked about the whole mobile app thing. Everyone's glued to their phones these days, so it's got to be a big deal for them, right? Absolutely. They developed a mobile app specifically for news consumption, curating the most read stories from different categories and delivering them straight to your phone. It's actually a pretty slick app, even won an Apple Design Award back in 2014.
An award. Damn, they must be doing something right. But let's circle back to the AI stuff for a minute.
Okay.
We kind of skimmed over that earlier, and it seems like a pretty big deal. You mentioned they bought this company called The Factual. How the hell does that AI actually work? Is it like some kind of bullshit detector for news?
It's a pretty sophisticated system. It analyzes news articles for credibility, looking at things like sourcing bias and factuality. It uses natural language processing and machine learning to assess the reliability of information and flag potential red flags.
So it's like a robot fact checker. It's pretty badass. But what about Artifact, that other AI app you mentioned? What was the deal with that?
Artifact was a different beast. It was a personalized news app that shut down earlier this year, but Yahoo saw potential in its technology and bought it.
So they bought a dead app. Sounds risky. What did they see in it?
Artifact used AI to personalize news feeds for each user, learning their reading habits and recommending articles based on their interests. It's all about tailoring the news experience to individual preferences.
Personalized news feeds.
Yeah.
So instead of getting bombarded with a bunch of random crap,
Mm-hmm.
you only see the stuff you actually care about.
Exactly. It's like having a personal news curator in your pocket. But of course, there are downsides too. Some people worry that this kind of personalization will create echo chambers where people are only exposed to information that confirms their existing biases.
Yeah, that's the whole filter bubble problem.
Yeah.
It's a double-edged sword for sure. But hey, if it means I don't have to see another article about some Kardashian's ass, I'm all for it.
Fair enough. But getting back to Yahoo News, it seems like they're really betting on AI to be their saving grace. They're using it to personalize news feeds, fight misinformation, and even automate certain tasks. It's a bold strategy, that's for sure.
So they're basically saying, screw tradition, we're going full on cyborg.
Pretty much. It'll be interesting to see if it pays off. But hold on, we're forgetting something important. How the hell do they stack up against the competition these days? Are they still a top dog, or have they fallen behind?
Yeah. Are they still in the game, or are they just playing in the minor leagues now?
Well, the last time we have data on their ranking was back in 2019, and they were sitting pretty at number 6 globally. Not bad for a company that everyone thought was on its deathbed.
6th place. Ain't bad at all. But that was before they went all in on this AI stuff.
Mm-mm.
Who knows where they stand now? Maybe they've climbed the ranks, or maybe they've fallen even further behind.
It's a constantly changing landscape, and it's tough to say for sure. But the fact that they're still innovating and experimenting shows that they're not giving up without a fight. They're determined to stay relevant, even if it means embracing technologies that some people find creepy.
Well, good for them. I gotta admit, I'm kind of rooting for the underdogs here.
Is she?
It would be pretty badass if they managed to pull off a comeback.
Yeah.
But let's be real, they've got a long way to go. They're up against some serious competition, and the news industry is a cutthroat business.
Absolutely. It's a tough road ahead, no doubt about it. But they've shown that they're willing to take risks and try new things. Who knows, maybe they'll surprise us all.
So we talked about Yahoo News' past, their present, their struggles, their triumphs, those weird-ass decisions. But what about their future? Where the hell are they going from here? What's the game plan?
Well, their strategy seems pretty clear. Double down on AI and personalization. They're betting that these technologies will help them stand out in a crowded and noisy media landscape.
So they're basically saying, screw tradition, we're going full-on cyborg.
Pretty much. It's a bold move, that's for sure. But it also makes sense. Think about it. Everyone's bombarded with information these days. It's overwhelming. AI can help filter through the noise and deliver a more tailored news experience.
Yeah, I guess that's the whole point of those recommendation algorithms. Show me what I want, even if I don't know I want it yet. But isn't that kind of creepy? Like an AI deciding what news I should read?
It can be, yeah. There are definitely ethical concerns about algorithms controlling what we see and don't see. But it's also an opportunity. If done right, AI can actually help us break out of our filter bubbles and expose us to different perspectives.
Okay, so it's not all doom and gloom. AI could actually help us become more informed, not less. But let's be real. Yahoo News isn't some altruistic organization. They're a business. They want to make money. How does AI fit into that?
Good point. AI can help them in a few ways. First, it can improve their content recommendations, which leads to more engagement and page views. That means more ad revenue.
So it's all about those sweet, sweet clicks.
Exactly. And second, AI can help them automate certain tasks like fact-checking and content moderation. That saves them time and money.
So they can fire all their human employees and replace them with robots. Just kidding. Sort of. But hey, if they could use AI to weed out fake news and bullshit, I'm all for it.
Me too. The potential is there.
Yeah.
But it all comes down to execution. They need to use AI responsibly and transparently. Otherwise, they risk alienating their audience.
Right. Got to keep it ethical. But speaking of their audience, who the hell is even reading Yahoo News these days? Is it just our parents' generation, or are they attracting younger folks too?
That's a good question. It's hard to say for sure without seeing their demographics, but based on their recent moves, it seems like they're trying to appeal to a wider audience, including younger generations.
Makes sense. Got to stay relevant, right?
Yeah.
But how do they compete with all the other news sources out there? I mean, everyone's got a website, a podcast, a TikTok channel.
It's tough, no doubt. But they've got a few things going for them. First, they've got brand recognition. People know Yahoo even if they haven't visited the site in years. Second, they've got a massive reach. They're still one of the most visited websites in the world. And third, they're investing in cutting-edge technology like AI.
So they're not just some dusty old website. They're actually trying to innovate and shake things up.
Exactly. They're not afraid to experiment and try new things, and that's what makes them so interesting to watch.
All right, so let's wrap this up. We've dissected Yahoo News from head to toe. What's the final verdict? Are they a phoenix rising from the ashes, or are they just delaying the inevitable decline?
It's too early to say for sure. The media landscape is constantly changing, and there are no guarantees. But they're definitely making some bold moves, and they're not going down without a fight. They're a company to keep an eye on.
Well said. So there you have it, folks. Yahoo News. More than just a blast from the past. They're a company with a rich history, a complex present, and an uncertain future.
Mm.
But one thing's for sure. They're not boring.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm out of here. This whole deep dive has made me thirsty for a stiff drink and maybe some mindless celebrity gossip.
Sounds like a plan. Until next time, folks, stay informed, stay curious, and try not to get sucked into too many filter bubbles.
And don't forget to check your socks on Yahoo Finance while you're at it. Those old bastards are good for something.